Are you the parent of a toddler who's looking to increase interaction with communication partners, specifically to increase eye contact? Eye contact is such a crucial skill for speech and language development because where the eyes are is where a child's attention is. So if a child is looking at you when they're talking, it's more likely that they're really paying attention to the things that you're saying. They're really imbibing what it is that you're saying. They're in the optimal position to learn. If a child is looking somewhere else, it's a little bit less so. Hi, my name is Amini. I'm a speech and language pathologist with several years of experience working with parents and children to maximize child speech and language development. I also have my own private speech therapy practice, Smarter Speech, in the Bay Area, California. And my mission with this channel is to empower parents of children under the age of 5, because this is when a child's brain is developing so rapidly, and little changes and tweaks can really make a big difference in how their speech and language develops, and further in how their overall learning develops as well in the years to come. So without further ado, let's get into it. How can we increase eye contact? I have 3 main tips, but I'm going to add the 4th tip as a bonus. If you are concerned about eye contact, especially after you try these tips for a few weeks or even before, it's very important to communicate this to your pediatrician. Communicating earlier is better than later, and whatever steps they tell you to take are very important. They might ask for more information. They might make some recommendation. It's very important to follow what your pediatrician says if you are worried about eye contact, especially if your child is around a year old and you're really not seeing consistent eye contact and attention. So that was my 4th bonus tip. Now on to the 3 tips on ways you can increase eye contact. The first thing is to make sure that you are talking to your child in a way that they're going to want to look at your eyes. So if you're talking down to your child, or if you're talking at your child, both of those don't really encourage eye contact. And sometimes it can be pretty tempting to talk to a child like that just because you're so busy, you're trying to get a lot of things done, but you want to maximize that face-to-face, one-on-one time to encourage your child to be looking in the first place. I'm going to demo this using this little lovely baby. Your child is probably bigger than this, but this is good for my demonstration. So if I'm talking down to this baby like this, chances are she could look up into my eyes, but it's a little harder versus putting her at eye level and then talking to her. Similarly, if I'm talking at her, so say she's faced this way and I'm talking at her while I'm changing, I'm really not making that effort to look into her eyes. So maybe I'm going to talk to her, look at her while I'm changing her. So really maximizing that time, especially during getting ready, during mealtime, when you're making that eye contact, is very, very crucial. That is the simplest thing you can do in daily routines. What you're already doing, just make sure you're really looking for those opportunities to bring your child's face close to yours and make sure you guys are more face-to-face than usual. That's the main tip that I would say. The next tip is, this one's especially if you're getting some resistance, like your child looks you in the eye, but then doesn't, then looks, then doesn't, is to use the things that a child is interested in to your benefit. So for example, if you're playing with shapes in a shape sorter, and your child is looking for the next shape, you can grab the shape. And then instead of just giving the shape to your child, you're going to bring the shape up here. And what happens, your child is probably, especially if it's a preferred item or something that your child likes, is going to follow the shape and look up near or close to your eyes. So the great thing about doing this with toys that have parts is you can use each part and do this exercise over and over again. Oh, do we want the triangle? Here's the triangle. Do we want the square? Here's the square. Do we want the crescent or the moon? Here it is. And you can keep going until you've gotten all of the shapes in the shape sorter. You don't just have to do it with shapes. You can also do it with maybe markers. So every time your child needs a new color, oh, it looks like you want brown or a new dot or, whatever it is they use to color. You can bring it to their eyes and then give them the color. Again, maximizing the number of times your child looks up to see your face. The more you do this, the more you practice this over and over again, you're training the instinct for the child to automatically look up when they're getting something from you. So this is automatically going to bring the attention up here for each of those joint attention activities. So that's my second tip, is to bring the objects to eye level. Make sure with this one that you're doing it for at least 5 to 10 minutes. So set a timer if you need to, and make sure each item that you're giving your child, just for a couple seconds, you're holding it up and then looking for that meeting of the eyes and then giving it to your child. Just by doing that, you're forcing that eye contact for 5 or for 10 minutes, which is a very good thing. The last thing that I do to increase eye contact is I actually point it out during activities that involve eyes. So for example, say you're playing with Mr. Potato Head, and maybe you're giving each of the parts first by bringing them to your eyes and then by giving them to your child. But say you're playing with Mr. Potato Head and you're looking for his eyes. Well, you can point out, oh, here's Mr. Potato Head's eyes. Here is mommy's eyes or daddy's eyes. And where's your eyes? And then you can even very gently and carefully point near your child's eyes so that they can see where it is that you're pointing and understand that those are the eyes. That might seem a little bit technical or unnecessary, but what you're doing essentially is you're showing 3 types of eyes. So you're showing 1, 2, and 3. So you're saying it over and over again, making the concept easier to learn. And you're also drawing attention to your eyes. You're drawing attention to your child's eyes while you're doing both of these. What ends up happening is you end up looking at each other's eyes, therefore encouraging that eye contact over and over again. You can also do this with books. I love doing this with little toddler books because you'll be working on body parts, a crucial milestone for language development, but you're also working on that eye contact. So say, for example, I have this polka dot 10 little monkeys that I'm looking at with my toddler. Then what I would do is I would point out, oh, look, where are the monkey's eyes? Let's see if we can point to it. Maybe I'll point, maybe I'll use the child's hand to point, and then I'll say, you're right, that is monkey's eyes, just like these are mama's eyes, and these are your eyes. So you, again, did that same thing of 3, and you're training your child to focus their gaze first here, and then when you're looking at them, they're going to look back into your eyes once more. So that's a really great one as well, just pointing out eyes as they occur in daily routines. You can also do this with a mirror. Kids obviously love mirrors. You can stand near the mirror, point out your eyes, point out the child's eyes, point out your eyes in the mirror, point out the child's eyes in the mirror, etc. So those are our 3, technically 4 tips. 1, if you're concerned, please reach out to a pediatrician sooner than later. 2, bring objects in play, especially during allocated 10 to 15 minutes of playtime to your eyes. 3rd, start pointing out eyes on everyday play items and point out eyes on toys, eyes in pictures, eyes on you, and eyes, of course, being gentle and careful on your child. I hope that this tip helped you. If you're looking for more resources on toddler language development, please check out the description box below. You'll find a link to our mailing list where there's a monthly free tip on speech and language development. You'll also find our ebook on toddler language development, a parent education course on toddler language development, and you'll also find a link to some of these toys that I've used in this demonstration. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more videos like this, please subscribe, and happy talking.